So today we're going to be looking at Sega Rally 3, the arcade version running on Sega's Europa R arcade board, which has just in the last couple of months been cracked, meaning you can now play it on your PC. Versus Sega Rally Online Arcade, a digital-only release I bought for my PlayStation 3 a few years ago. Now, I'm a really big fan of Sega Rally Online Arcade, and at the time that I bought it, I didn't realise that it was more or less a straight port of Sega Rally 3. Having said that though, it isn't an exact port, as we shall see as we start delving into a bit of gameplay. Now, the most obvious difference between the two, and the one which is most important for me, is the fact that Sega Rally 3 runs at 60 frames a second, and Sega Rally Online Arcade only runs at 30 frames a second. And although, as I mentioned before, I do love Sega Rally Online Arcade, the fact that it only runs at 30 frames a second has been one of my biggest gripes with the game. I've seen lots of other racing games on the PlayStation 3 that look just as good, if not better than this, that do run at 60 frames a second. Now, I don't know anything about the intricacies or difficulties of programming games on the PlayStation 3, so perhaps 30 frames a second was the best Sumo Digital were able to get out of the PlayStation 3, using the same graphics engine that the arcade hardware was running on. The arcade version also seems to just generally have a bit more pizzazz in its presentation, which includes an announcer who sounds very similar to the one from Sonic and All-Star Transformed, who tells you which track you've selected and which car you've chosen. Some of the actual car models themselves seem slightly different in the two games as well as the third-person chase viewpoint that you get in the game, which seems to be back slightly higher and slightly further away in Sega Rally 3. One thing which Sega Rally Online Arcade does have going in its favour though, which you would expect as a home port, is the fact that it does contain a greater selection of playable vehicles, although the arcade version did also include 2 secret playable vehicles, which are also included in Sega Rally Online Arcade, which I will showcase in the first race. Anyway, I think that's enough talk from me. Let's get down to business and let's look at a race between these two games.
Quick race. Choose your car. Bonus cars. Choose your car. Bonus cars. McRae Enduro. Choose automatic or manual transmission. Manual. Choose a track to race. Tropical. Over jump. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Long medium right. Easy left. Bridge. Easy left. Easy right. Final lap. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Long easy right. Over jump. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Checkpoint. Long medium right. Easy left. Bridge. Easy left. Easy right. Final lap. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Long easy right. Over jump. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Checkpoint. Long medium right. Easy left. Bridge. Easy left. Easy right. Finish first. Enter your name. You got a high score. Classic. Choose your car. Lancia. Choose automatic or manual transmission. Manual. Desert 95. Three, two, one, go! Change up. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Easy right. Long medium right. Easy right. Over jump. Easy left. Easy left. Easy right. Very long, easy right. Maybe. Left to easy right. Easy left. Very long, easy right, maybe. Final lap, easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Easy right. Long medium right. Checkpoint. Easy right. Over jump. Easy left. Easy right. Very long, easy right. Maybe. You finished first. You finished first. Enter your name. You got a high score.
Well, if you enjoyed that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you did enjoy it, why don't you check out some of my other videos? I'm sure you'll love them. Bye bye.